Hi, it's Seth from Ageless, and I wanted to talk to you about one of the first things I like to do with people when they come in, and that is to do a free values card sort. So I'll put a link in to a place where you can do that, but there are a ton of them online. If you just search free values card sort, something will come up. But the what you're doing is you're deciding what's actually important to you. And it's really important because it's hard to figure out where you want to go if you don't know what's important to you. So when I did this, the two values that were most important to me were family and respect, which includes self-respect. So as I'm making decisions, I'm using those as my North Star. I'm always heading to a life where family is central and respect is central. So as I'm making decisions, I say, does this take me toward a life where there's respect and I'm close to my family, or does it take me away from it? And it can be about something stupid. Do I eat this piece of cheesecake? Does that take me towards self respect, or am I going to beat myself up after it? Maybe one day I'll be like, oh, I really want the cheesecake, and I'll detour away from where I say I want to go based on my values. If I do, then I ask myself, what are the people I was around? What are the places? What are the situations? Oh, I had skipped lunch, so my sugar was probably low and I was starving, so I wanted that cheesecake. Or I'd had an argument with my husband, so I was eating my feelings. And you figure out, like, what are the things that push you away from where you want to go in your life? If you're doing good about heading toward your values, then you ask yourself the same question. What are the people, places, and situations that support me in being the best version of myself that's consistent with my values? We all have people who, when we're around them, we're not up the best version of ourselves. So it can be really helpful to surround ourselves with people that help us be that best version. Um, so using that means that you're always headed toward what's important to you. And it gets away from what's good and bad or what's right and wrong. Those concepts have value for some people, but for me, they just lead to shame and guilt. And so instead, I really invite you to start asking yourself, is this effective at taking me where I want to go in my life or not effective? When you frame it that way, you take away the shame and the guilt, and it's all just what works for you. And what works for you is going to be different than what works for me. I am so surprised sometimes when I do this with patients. I had a patient the other day that when we did it, her number one value was security. I never would have picked that. But as she's making choices, it's so important to her nervous system that she feels safe. And so realizing that, she's able to figure out how to make decisions in a way that lead her to a life that there's a lot of safety and security. So that concept is called values work. And when you're using that to make choices, it's called the choice point. There's a ton of info about using these strategies online. They come out of acceptance and commitment therapy, and it's a really lovely form of therapy. If you need help figuring out how to find your North Star, give us a call. The number is 423 952 5300, or you can schedule an appointment on Ageless Integrative. I hope you're able to live a life where you are fully embodying your values, and I hope those values include doing some self care and remembering that your stuff is about you. Even if someone else irritates you, they're just pointing out something unhealed in you that you need to work on, and their stuff gets to be about them. It's not actually about you. So when people are focused on other people, it's a distraction that keeps them from doing the work on themselves. So you are the one responsible for your feelings, not anyone else. And other people are grown adults and they are responsible for their own lives, and they can ask you if they need help. When you offer it in an unsolicited way, you are teaching people that you don't trust them to manage their own lives. And when you allow people to stay in their business, because there's my business, your business, and God's business, when you stay in your business, life is so much better. So if we can help you with any of these things, give us a call or schedule an appointment online. Hope you're having a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.